and then we move to our final submitter before morning tea. I'd invite Robin McCarthy to the table. Robin, thank you for joining us this morning.
Deputy Mayor, fellow councillors, thanks for allowing me to speak to my submission this morning. Just a couple of things I'm going to run over briefly. I support the charging of water going into the future. I actually lived under two regimes in the UK, one in Norwich where they privatised the water out of the councils throughout the whole of the country, and Anglian Water provided my water services, separate bill. I then moved to Cambridge, a brand new house, and within about 2 weeks I get a bill from a company called Cambridge Water Company. I didn't even know that existed. They'd been in existence for about 129 years at that stage, providing very good water and also disposing of it, and the cost was very, very reasonable. And of course, if you're going to be charging for water, it is one of the best conservation measures that you can adopt. Now, when I went and made this submission, I didn't tick any particular box in terms of what the increase in the overall rate should be. It defaulted back to 3.5%. I don't agree with that. It should be a 0%. I've taken the time to take on a hallowed cow, or probably something which no other submitter is going to talk about today, and this is the cost of running the people in the council. In my view, it's got out of control. We're seeing huge salaries being paid to many of the senior managers, and probably not to many of the senior managers either. Now, unfortunately, the chief executive, when she was appointed, said that there'd be no redundancies under her watch. I think that was wrong. She's now said, or publicly reported as saying, that the cost of redundancy will outweigh any advantage over making people redundant. Now, why? I've seen no figures presented for that. What are the redundancy provisions in the employment contracts that the people in the council have? Has any councillor ever seen an employment contract? Who's involved in the formulation of these employment contracts? I suspect that there'd be advocates on behalf of the employees. I've been involved in this a bit myself in the past because I have been a long-time employer. We should know this. Has anybody, can I ask now, has anybody seen an employment contract?
This is your opportunity to present to us rather than for you to be asking us questions.
That you, sir, as the chairman of this hearing today, should be asking these of your councillors. Because unless we know, well, how can the redundancy costs outweigh the benefit of making people redundant? Tell me. It's just bizarre. You know, how can anyone ever understand that? So I think that is something that you all should be looking at. You should all be, you are the governors of this council. You should be telling the chief executive to disclose these contracts so you can make an assessment on whether they are fair or not. A big problem we've got now, if you do make people redundant, no doubt that if it went to the employment court, then they would take up on this fact that, you know, no one's ever going to be made redundant and they'll run you around forever and a day. So these are real issues, folks, because the cost of running this council is huge. And every year the number of employees goes up, and the amount of the remuneration seems to be out of control. Someone's got to get control. You are the governors. Anyway, I'll move on to another one, folks.
Right, well, that has actually brought us to beyond the end of the 3 minutes allotted.
Gosh, it's only getting started. But anyway, there you have it. So you can read the rest of it, and I'd just like to leave a leaflet for everybody to read. It's about prioritisation of spending in the council.
All right. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning. Thank you.